he can have a really good presence coming out early on. The combination with Grimstroke means that you can get double poisons out, which is pretty potent for keeping people stuck that much longer, and that's something the Pangolier and Ember can really max out. It is sort of a fast-paced draft from RNG. Really no waiting around here. The moment they hit 6, they're going to be trying to force out these towers, force down the objectives, take over the map, especially with that Dazzle. You can't afford to wait too long there. IG dips into the Gyrocopter, so it makes an appearance once more. Still not a hero I enjoy seeing, and not really a hero I have too much confidence in, although up against this specific lineup, it can kind of work. You have good control with Mars, you have solid combinations overall for the team to set up to catch people in a tight area, and Gyrocopter does tend to enjoy that, so there is some value here from the Gyro.
Yeah, you've seen a lot more Gyro popping out as well ever since they did get the he did get the cooldown changes. That added damage makes it a bit more influential in the team fights for sure. But then again, it makes it so much more important to actually land it well because you do have that longer cooldown. So if you don't really connect the team in these team fights, that the Gyrocopter can feel quite lackluster. But I suppose with the Mars, you already have a nice way of almost guaranteeing that you get one of the rockets off on somebody.
Should be pretty straightforward with Mars. This does allow them to really go for something else that team fights nicely for their last pick here from IG. I think gonna be looking at a mid laner that can play around with that. Right now, RNG doesn't have the best lockdown for Slippery Hero, so yeah, they ban out the Storm. That's not something their kit is really set up to deal with. I think you could maybe see something like the Queen of Pain come out for IG. A lot of potency there, slipping in and out right in front, and again, just not the best stuns from RNG to prevent any sort of slip-ups here from IG.
You do kind of want some kind of tempo setting mid, right, for IG right now, which is Storm would have been one of those nice ones to have. Like the Gyrocopter will still require a little bit of space before it can be as effective as it needs to be.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel like the Queen of Pain can slot into that if they wanted to. We have seen a lot more Queen of Pain as well. It doesn't require too much farm, really. The key thing is level 6 and maybe an Orchid for the Queen of Pain,
Yeah.
just to get some added control. The matchup against Ember is all right. Again, it takes a while for the Ember to kick in with his durability and the shield. Of course, he has ways of maybe dodging your dagger throws with Sleight of Fist early on, but I don't think that's a major factor. The Queen of Pain still has a pretty good range advantage for harassment if they did decide to go that route.
They'll ban the Terrorblade IG. Not wanting to see that a second time. And well, if they do want it, the Queen of Pain is certainly still available for them. Mind you, you do have one counter in the form of that Ember Spirit with the chain, so that can make things a little bit complicated if you do want to go for the quad. But I do agree, I do still think it is a very strong pickup here for IG.
10 seconds remaining. RNG's turn to pick.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They go for the Lycan.
Yeah, it gives them some much needed push. It lets them come online a bit faster. It's going to be a bit flexible as well. You could put the Gyro mid, you could put the Lycan mid. So it's really down to what IG wants. I believe it should be. I want to say Gyro mid works a bit better against Ember Spirit. We have seen that matchup before. So there is a lot more for IG to find there, and their Lycan should have a better time, but RNG switches up as well. They get the Kunkka, which can also be run mid. So you have a lot of flexibility here. Yeah, Lycan being played by Fly, of course, so it does look like a Lycan mid, and the Kunkka mid to counteract that.
Oh, still very flexible between Emo and Fly. We'll have to see which one does want to run down mid. I like the Kunkka pick though as well. The wave clear is going to be really nice up against the push potential of the Lycan. And I believe it was actually LGD we saw do this kind of draft the other day. When you have the Gyrocopter Lycan, it's not so much more about, you know, trying to get huge on the Gyrocopter, but once you've gotten around that 15 and 20 minute mark, you know, you've got a Necro 1 as well as the Helm of the Dom on the Lycan, you just start running at the other side. And generally speaking, most of the time they can't really do much about it because it's just so much damage and so many things to focus on, especially coming out of the Lycan. Guess only time will tell if that's the route they go down as well, but they have the draft for it, for sure. But Raw never give up. They definitely have the answers for this draft in their own right, so it will be a very interesting game. It'll either finish very quickly or it feels like it's going to finish very late. It's a matter of whether RNG can hold out.
It could go either way. I think one thing to watch out for from IG is the sustain RNG has. So you have that Dazzle, which can keep healing you up, and you have the Kunkka Boat. You have a lot of ways of, once more, keeping these heroes alive a lot longer than you'd expect. Once the Shallow Grave starts flying out, of course, you have nothing to really eat through that here from IG. There is a lot of saving grace from RNG to mitigate that aggression. So that is kind of one way to ride out these big team fights that IG look to really pull out here.
And we'll get into game number 3. The deciding match for this series. Of course, for anyone not aware, of course, there will be a second series on straight after this. It will be C-Deck versus New B. So don't go anywhere after this game. Of course, if you did want to watch some more Dota, there's still another best of 3 coming after this game. And that means another 1v1 we get to look forward to, John.
I love those 1v1s. It's just, it's matchups you'll probably never see in actuality. So thanks to the Chinese fans for giving us something fun to watch before the match starts.
Yeah. They do end up throwing Emo down at the bot lane, by the way, on the gyrocopter. So like you mentioned, the Fly Lycan will be mid. Up against that Kunkka, though, that is not going to be a fun matchup for him.
No, it's not an easy time for the Lycan. You do have ways of trying to stay alive there, of course. Just a very tanky hero, but your wolves will be in the line of fire. You're going to have to micro pretty well if you're going to go for those early wolves, as Setsu will be able to kind of clear them out and give himself some more farm, which can be an issue. Bleeding that gold away to a Kunkka is not the best thing.
No.
The battle begins.
It'll be another 2-for-2 bounty trade. Neither side willing to fight it out. September. Waiting for Emo to pop his head out of these trees so he can provide a little bit of harassment before the game really starts, but doesn't really get the opportunity. We'll see them now, but Emo, he is perfectly safe. They have made it so Emo couldn't really find the block he wanted, however. So Flyone he gets a little bit of an advantage. Like, it's not that great of a creep block coming out from Flyone. It'll help a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing for these lanes are really to just try to mitigate the magic damage that IG has. Like, Bane and Gyro can burn you down fast. In fact, September is already copying way too much here.
He certainly is. He's going to keep going forward, but now Rocket Flare will fly out. Emo, he had it ready at level 1. And, well, it looks like September may be giving away first blood. Ollie, he's the one to pick it up with the Brain Sap, and that was not the swashbuckle you were looking for.
It really isn't. I can understand the pressure of playing forward. I think with how your lane is, like Dazzle Pangolier is just kind of slow.
Well, even Flyone now getting harassed quite heavily as September going to come back in. Does have the Orb of Venom, so they have plenty of kill potential, especially once you have that Poison Touch. It was already expended by Flyone, however, so they aren't quite able to finish Ollie off. While we have a small break, we'll have a look over to the mid lane where you can also see Fly already being harassed out quite a lot by Setsu. Torrent will not connect. Had it done so, however, that Tidebringer would have finished him off for sure.
Yeah, it's not a good time for Fly. It's just that laning advantage. Tankiness of the Lycan doesn't really kick in until level 3 or 4, although he does opt for more levels in the Wolves just to have them last a bit longer and help clear out the wave. It's really the only way he's going to keep up in this farm game, as he can't walk up to last. He simply can't. He can dip into the jungle, which he will do quite effectively here.
Yeah,
Setsu knows, though.
yeah, he definitely knows this is going to happen. And he's going to find himself a wolf. He's going to stop the jungling from happening. And this is going to be a free lane for Setsu. Like, this is the easiest mid lane of Setsu's life. Gonna have a very, very nice time on this Conquer. So we can probably expect some big things to come out of this man in the mid lane.
Yeah. Swap those super.
Hey, he's in a bit of trouble,
Tiny.
Kaka.
He's under attack.
Just throw out the Fade Bolt. One more right click would do the work, though no salve committed by Super. Still Kaka going to go for it. Salve wasted an IG. Pick up a decent kill up at this top lane.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of the focus away from Monet, so I think Super's going to be pretty happy about that. He's just getting a little bit more space for Monet to find that last hits. JT does kind of run out of mana as well. It still has the Mango, so you can pop that if they want to go for something else, but really not much left in the tank here for the Mars.
It's always been the thing that really hurts as a Mars player. Like, you just always feel like you never have enough mana after throwing 1 or 2 spears. It's just like you're completely out all the time. Just always going to have that, you know, those mangoes, some clarities. You've always got to have something ready to go to give you mana. That's why we see the Soul Ring always coming out on this hero. In fact, Spear comes out. Inkswell was there, so they don't actually chase him down. Bot lane, Emo finds Flywind, but the fight at top continues as Kaka does have the lift and does commit. Monet has no way out of this situation but his own ability, and he'll try to juke out. And does do so, running south instead of north. And now Kaka could actually be in trouble as Sleight of Fist Chains does connect from Monet. They managed to turn it around a little bit. JT can't finish off Monet at all.
Yeah, so it's overall a support for a support trade so far, RNG. You know, they lost Super earlier on. They lose Kaka this time around. I think overall, RNG is going to be happy because Monet is still finding that space. His last hits have been affected. As a distraction, he's down to 16, but just securing these kills, staying in lane, and not being shoved out does mean the Ember is still finding some EXP here.
Ollie bot lane in a bit of danger, but he gets the Nightmare off on Flywind. Still, he takes the Nightmare off Flywind. September gonna try and help the best he can, but there's so many heroes coming in onto this core Dazzle and Flywind. He will eventually end up dying to Kaka on the Rubik. It's perfect timing as well because you've got those 5-minute bounty runes coming up. An IG. Surprisingly enough, don't go for the northern one yet, but no, Ollie, he will go grab it.
Yeah, that is going to give him a nice little injection, although down mid Fly.
Yeah, gonna be in trouble. Boat, Torrent, all of it connecting. Kaka is there to help out. Tidebringer not being committed yet. He couldn't find the angle, and now they do get the kill, but he's been speared up. Setsu. He is a very tanky target, however. He'll be fine.
Really hard to find that burst when you have Realm buff on you, and Setsu does really leverage this advantage he has over the Lycan. Just not much Fly can do here.
They're still trying. JT has to be a little bit careful about his own life. He does have God's Rebuke in a few seconds, but Ollie with the level 2 Brain Sap will have enough damage to find the trade. It just took a very long time.
Yeah, in the end, that is a very worthwhile movement from IG. They are pulling a lot of heroes down mid to kind of try to fly some space and punish Setsu. So this is freeing the side lanes up for RNG. Monet has a free time while that Morris is gone. And down bot, well, it's not as free, but you are able to apply a little bit more pressure onto Emo. Hasn't really stopped Rajara. 22 to 10. So it's not like it's free farm for Emo, but it's certainly not a complete shutout for him in this lane.
Fly has some of the saddest farm I've ever seen. Just looking at his items right now, 2 Sage's Masks and a Ring of Protection. He does have an Observer Ward for himself now, which is always nice. But he's just trying to rush that Necro 1 book. Not even going for the Helm of the Dominator first. It is a slow process for Fly, to say the least. Just hitting creeps. Every time Setsu gets the feeling he's doing it, he comes over and goes for a Tidebringer hit. In fact, he's even going to farm the jungle that is meant to be owned by Fly. Just taking as much away as he can. There's a nice mango tree for him.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge here for Fly. He's gonna have to figure out his place in the map. He is gonna head to that top triangle instead, find his farm. This does give some laning space for Kaka to find EXP, so the Rubik should hit level 6 in a timely manner, without any real punishment coming out from RNG just yet. Setsu's just much more happy to find some additional farm instead.
I mean, Setsu's well and truly ahead in terms of farm. Like, he is really starting to snowball already. I wonder what he goes for his next item. In fact, it is coming out. He just buys a magic wand. Nothing special yet. But in terms of net worth, he's 800 ahead of Emo on the gyrocopter. I mean, that's how well he's been farming. Kaka, like you said, at least Kaka gets some XP, so you can put some faith in the Rubik to try and make some big plays later on. But this Kunkka. What item build would you like to see him go for? Like, are we going to see something like the Heaven's Halberd? Is that still going to be a thing for Kunkka? Do you go Spirit Vessel here?
For the gyrocopter, the Halberd could be good. It's really, honestly, such an open hero in terms of build. Like, we could see the Shadow Blade if they need a way to initiate beyond just a Rolling Thunder. That's one way to start scouting in the jungle if they wanted to. We have seen a couple of Kunkkas go for that again. Though, again, it really depends on what they want as top lane.
Yeah, they are going to make the jump onto JT, but JT's a tanky target. He does drop the arena, and Fly does manage to finish off Sooth, but now Monet going to get chased down. Setsu, quick rotation, gets the X off, but a lift, it's not going to be enough. Chains into the boat, and now the Tidebringer again taking down Fly. And Setsu will continue to haunt this Wolfman.
It was a nice kill for IG to kind of break up that initiation, but Setsu just managing to clean up, still finding the Lycan anyway. Is a worthwhile trade for RNG. Again, IG is the one trying to set the pace by having so many heroes across the map, but they're not finding the key kills. They do have Kaka with the Fire Remnants though, so a little bit more utility on the Rubik coming out now.
He certainly can burst someone down quite quickly with those 3 remnants if that's all he wants to do with it. Right now he's got no mana for it though. Just going to try and secure some banner runes with his team, it seems, is super. Has to be careful. Flyone's going to join him. But it's a 2v3 situation down at this bot rune spot. Flyman probably understands he shouldn't walk down that staircase and doesn't. Both teams going to slow down the pace a little bit. I think IG understand that any team fight they try to force up against this RNG side is probably going to mean they're going to have to deal with Setsu. And Setsu is indeed as well going for an armlet build, which it's old school, but I like it.
Yeah, it affords him a little bit more durability in the front, gives him some nice damage boost as well, and allows him to play on the edge. I think giving you a lot more value from the run buff. So it gives a considerable amount to Setsu. They do smoke up. They want to pressure Emo. They really haven't punished his gyrocopter too much just yet.
Yeah, he's been farming freely, and he knows something's awry. They smoked underneath an observer ward just as it was expiring. Top lane as well, Monet getting caught out by JT. That wasn't even an arena of blood being committed. Just a Fiend's Grip, and that was the end of that. Monet now losing his life on that Ember.
It's one of the hard things with RNG's draft. Like, the moment you leave Monet and you don't have information as to where the Bane is, it's going to be a straightforward process to get that kill. Again, Ollie's Bane with a Fiend's Grip. Easy control onto the Ember, in fact. Monet really forward.
Dangerous team fight to take for IG. JT, he'll drop the Arena of Blood just to try and slow them down. There will be an X out onto JT, and he does go down to the Tidebringer hit of Setsu again, and now September rolling, keeps far forward, but he found Emo. He finds the Bane. They don't really care for Ollie anyway. They want the Wolf. Fly, he is running away, although he's thinking about running back. Maybe spotting out a kill he could go for, and actually does get one with the Necro Creeps as well as the Wolves. Even gets a courier. Nice micro, and now poor old Super getting caught out by these Wolves. Kaka, Rolling Thunder was stolen. And Super no way out of this situation. They try to heal him up with Flyman. He doesn't have Shallow Grave right now. Perhaps he finds Kaka as a trade. That's not such a bad trade to have if you are Flyman, and they do get it. The fight still continues as Setsu. He found an X onto Ollie now. IG may have just overstayed their welcome a little bit, and they give 2 more kills away.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth from both sides. Really staggered fight in the end. I think overall, you are going to be happy with that from RNG. You managed to find a little bit more in that trade, mitigate that top tier push, and they might find JT as well.
Well, he's in there somewhere. Setsu just doesn't have a torrent to throw out. Super's trying to scout with the Stroke of Fate, but the cooldown is a little frustrating. And they must assume he's gone now, because they've just left the tree line. JT going to be thanking his lucky stars as he just hides there. He may be stuck for a while though. He's got 25 seconds on his TP. In fact, RNG, they've already backed out anyway, so he is free to just run out of the tree line now. IG, however, smoke up. Setsu. He'd be a really lovely target to get, but how do you go through 1.8k worth of HP without the armlet turned on, I wonder? If you get a Fiend's Grip, maybe you could, and they do. They have 4 heroes around him. Call down being committed with the Rocket Barrage, and that is probably going to be enough. September, he rolls through, but it gives Kaka Shield Crash. In fact, it's not Rolling Thunder. They also got Super, and now September, he does get locked in with a Spear coming out from JT. That is a fantastic team fight. In fact, it's not even over yet. Fly, he finds Flywood. The arena will lock him in thanks to JT. They're going to get that Dazzle. And Monet, he's the last man standing. He will try to remnant away here. Can they get the final kill to get a team wipe? Well, look where Flywood is, waiting in the exact spot, but they don't have the lockdown. So it will be a 4-for-1 trade in the end in the favor of IG. But this lineup from IG is really starting to come out online.
Yeah, you see Emo really joining early, although it's not done yet. Setsu gets the X.
Gets an X, boat, torrent, and that'll mean JT dies. They do eventually find something. In fact, they draw a line. They want to keep going. Monet, he knows exactly where they are. Emo. Chains will be up in a second. Monet does get him. He doesn't have enough lockdown yet, but perhaps he has enough damage? No, he doesn't. He needed another remnant. Now the lift comes out. Monet, do you really want to remnant through this? Chains? Kaka? Oh, he does get taken down by September. Couldn't quite get out, and RNG push it right back the way of IG.
Yeah, they're trying to find these trades. Not the most favorable still. They only find a Rubik, which is fine, but this should allow them to get some chip damage onto that mid-tier 1, although Monet is still really trying to find more. The Dazzle is starting to reach that point as well, where you're starting to see certain items come in. Of course, the Necro one has been up for a while. You are looking at the mech next. That's going to be a lot of sustain for the side of RNG that will be available once that's up and running. And I think that's really what RNG needs. They are starting to kick the pace in, but they can't quite sustain themselves. They need the items to come in. Nice spear onto Monet. No follow-up, though.
They do have the Fiend's Grip up on Ollie. They may want to just try and make another play. But they understand if Setsu's not dead, can they really afford to take a team fight? Like, he is still way too big. They smoke up now on the side of RNG. They're going to try and rotate through their own jungle, where they will find JT and Fly. And Monet, not getting the Lycan yet, but does realize he is around there somewhere, and he has chains available. Fly has the wolf form, gets chained up, however. X is also there, so Fly is certainly coming back into this. X, boat will all land, and now September with the follow-up. Monet does get the kill.
It's a really big target for RNG to take. That's going to stop the shoving from IG for a bit. Of course, all of this does buy space for Emo. He's left alone, farm up. He's working towards a BKB. And it looks like the progression should be good. So what IG wants to do is find a way to just stand in the fight. They know they have good control. They just need to enable their gyro to man up and really just get the damage out. But you do see the halberd flying out in Setsu now. So he has a way of either disarming the Lycan or the Gyro. I think the Gyro will take priority, and that does take a lot away from IG. Right now, they're not depending on the physical damage, but eventually this is going to hurt them.
What do you go after that halberd? Well, it looks like it'll be a BKB into an AC. That's just gonna make him almost impossible to kill. Especially the way things are going right now.
One of the things with IG is that they can only really lock one hero down with a Fiend's Grip. Beyond that,
Remnant forward. Monet doesn't have another Remnant to throw, but you've got September there with the Inkswell on top. Kaka tries to dodge, but doesn't get away with it. And RNG just consistently rotating across the map, not giving IG the space they need for that farm. I guess at least Emo now has the BKB up, but I don't think that's anywhere near enough.
no. Definitely not. Like, he does have good magic damage. I think IG needs a perfect 5v5, catching at least 3 in the arena, get the call down off, have the grip on the Ember, and ensure that somehow you don't get the boat off from Setsu. It's just that their control is so limited with the heroes they have, they can't ensure that all of these things come into play. They have to commit to either the Ember or the Kunkka with her Fiend's Grip, and no matter the one here they leave behind is going to cause them issues.
Well, smoke up from IG. They want to get the surprise reveal off with this 10-second charge on Emo. September will break the smoke, and this is very unfortunate. IG, they get jumped on first by Benet. Now September, Rolling Thunder through. How do you fight this? They're all split up right now. They don't have a target they really want. They'll try onto Benet. They have caught him with a stun, and now the arena. They do get the Ember, but they do lose, or in fact, they don't lose anyone yet in the process. Super does also go down. Fly flying out, chasing for more. He wants to go after Setsu. Oli, meanwhile, finds September on the Pangolier, and they are starting to drop on the side of RNG. It's a 0 for 3 right now. Setsu surrounded. He's a tanky boy, but when there's 4 or 5 heroes on top of you, you are pretty susceptible.
Yeah, it's not the best exchange for RNG. Really good fight for IG. The smoke does pay off. RNG just feeling very confident with starting Monet. He went in way deep first. They didn't really connect the Rolling Thunder to too many heroes. Like, they hit the Mars for the most part, and that's it. The wrong turn came out there, wrong turn, so they couldn't find anyone else to keep in control, and all the factors did come into play for IG. They got the control out, they got the arena on key heroes, and RNG just could not keep themselves alive long enough. Like, you have Flywin, he has the mech, he has all the heals, he has Shallow Grave. That wasn't enough to keep Monet alive. And the moment they lost Monet early on, they lost a lot of their damage as well.
Well, for the first time this game, I believe. Well, not the first time, but it's been a bit. The net worth graph now leads the way of IG as top lane Kaka. Gonna get caught out on the Rubik. Very easy kill for Setsu to pick up on that Kunkka. IG with this draft, slowly but surely coming online as you've got that Necro 3 book. One more big team fight for the side of IG, and they could really find quite a few structures here off the side of RNG.
Yeah, so that's the one worry with RNG. Like, they have this kind of lineup that wants to stay alive and keep fighting for long. It's just Flywin has not had that presence on the Dazzle. He needs a lot more. I think when you have level 3 in your ult, the cooldown is noticeable, but right now, ooh, they're just being run down.
Yeah, September going to be chased. Flywin does TP out, and Fly isn't able to find anything.
Dire are scanning.
RNG just going to kind of wait it out a bit. Setsu, I think he just wants his BKB before they really go for another big team fight. Problem is, now you see JT, he's got a blink coming out on the Mars, and he's been farming pretty nicely himself. You've also got an AC being built on the Lycan. Of course, Emo, he is going for that standard Aghanim Scepter you do see on Gyrocopters. You know what, he's not too far off. He does spend 3k to buy all the smaller items, and he is going to go for the point booster straight after that. But RNG may have just fought at the perfect time, as Kaka will get caught in the boat. Setsu immediately trying to burst down that Rubik, though he is fairly tanky, but not tanky enough. Now Emo pops the BKB trying to run away. Can he get the TP off? He can! Just barely.
Oh, that would have been big if they found that kill. It was a bit slow coming out from September. He opted to just stay in that Rolling Thunder for a long time. Unfortunately, not being able to swashbuckle out and do damage. Of course, they just kind of miss out. They do force the BKB charge, so you're not going to have that from Emo now. Down to 8 seconds. Not the best usages so far, but this will give RNG some space to try to Roche. I'm sure IG is aware though.
You've got to fight this as well, right? Like, with this kind of lineup from the side of IG, you do really want that first Aegis. And surprisingly enough, without any contestation, RNG either wants to back out of that Roshan pit, which will open it up to IG whenever they feel like doing it.
Yeah, they must have maybe seen the wolf come in, so they figured the rotations would come up fairly soon. They didn't have Rolling Thunder. It is coming off now, so if they wanted, they could counterfight inside.
Oh, IG gonna smoke. Sentry goes down. Oh, nice lift. They found the Kunkka. That's going to be a big one. Spear as well. Boat is available. They don't burst him down fast enough, but now the Torrent even connecting onto Setsu. Shallow Grave will save. They have lost Super. Now the boat finally comes out, but Emo's already on a double and Fly. Well, he does drop on the Lycan. Setsu still going as time goes on. The buyback flies out from the Grimstroke. Now Monet. He wants to jump onto Ollie. That Bane is so low in September. He finishes him off. Emo still trying to get this Kunkka, but Setsu won't die. The Soulbite comes out from Super. The armlet toggles from Setsu, keeping him alive throughout this whole team fight. But the torrent from Kaka is the one to finally get him down. And Super, he will at least try to punish Kaka with this kill. And he does get him. A double on Super JT, holding up the shield, getting a very nice spear off. Super's no way out of this one, surely. He gets a stroke of fate off, but JT will give him the God's Rebuke. And you would still call that a win for the side of IG.
For sure. They managed to force a buyback out on the Grimstroke. They take that fight anyway. A lot of things for RNG just not lining up. They had the Rolling Thunder go off well, but the Fiend's Grip got committed there. So again, you're seeing that Pangolier just staying still in that ult, and that just took a lot from RNG away. They lost out on a lot of control, even if they found those kills in the end. Did come at a pretty big cost, and IG can be perfectly happy. IG is the team that can kind of take this one slow. They have all these heroes that scale quite nicely. Even Lycan does scale pretty strongly. Of course, Emo's Gyrocopter is just set to grow big as the game goes on. It looks like they will group up and jump straight into the pit. RNG, they really can't afford to give this one away. And September does scout.
Does, but he gets lifted immediately by Kaka. And that is going to be a very unfortunate time for September to die. Now the boat flies out. Setsu, he found 2 in it, but can he actually find a kill? Well, he does get Kaka. That was his new 10-second BKB charge being committed for that support Kaka kill. But it's enough to dissuade the side of IG from trying to go for that Roshan attempt. Try maybe catching out Setsu, but you don't have anything like a Yules. But all this time that's been given to the side of IG has allowed Emo to be second in net worth again, with that 4 Aghanim Scepter up, and he has 1k in the bank to spend. What do you see a Gyrocopter build now? Like, after the Ags, do you just rush the Satanic? Do you get a damage item?
I'd say he could probably opt for Butterfly in this case. Maybe the Satanic would be nice as well if you want to tank up. I don't think the tankiness of Emo's an issue. He's been able to survive well enough. The rest of his team has been kind of copying it for him. And once again, RNG in the pit, but kind of pulling back without any sort of showing from IG just yet.
Well, now the Wolves finally come in, but yeah, they were already leaving the building before they'd even shown up. Still, the first Roshan of the game stands. Both teams usually just coming in, taking 1/3 of its HP away, and then just letting it heal up again. daring the other side to try and take it. And well, we see a smoke now, but RNG spot out IG, so they want to go for the fight. Chain is there onto JT. He holds his shield up. Now Rolling Thunder. They are throwing everything at JT, trying to burst him down, but he takes no damage. Now Emo, a great call down to follow up. This is going to be a lot of damage on the Ember Spirit. Monet, he should drop here, but Shallow Grave comes out from Flywind. Battle save. They will get the Dazzle instead, and still the Ember in trouble, but Monet, he does manage to remnant out of there in time. Now the trade will be trying to go onto Emo, but they can't really deal with this Lycan right now. In fact, never mind. The Wolf form's over. Do they want to keep going? They'd love an X right now to Fly, but they just can't keep up. Flywind's chasing. But no, Poison Touch will not land on the Lycan, and IG, or maybe they do find him. September won't have anything to lock him down. And it looks like RNG is saying, can we go for the Roshan now? Is this the time?
It's going to be a hard take. They did blow a lot there. Of course, IG blew an equal amount of spells, but they will have Arena up. IG is moving in. They don't quite seem to be going up yet. Yeah, no, they know it's happening. They've got to fight this one as well.
Spear. You do still have the Arena. Cooldown is 20 seconds away, but Arena has been dropped. JT jumps in. The Aegis is on the deck. Nobody's picked it up yet. The boat flying in. Monet does eventually grab it. A very close call. JT, I thought he may have been able to grab it in time, but not quite. And it will cost him his life. RNG, got to be feeling good about that one. And I'll tell you what, John, the scariest part about that fight was Kaka with the stolen boat. Stunning up the whole side of RNG, but JT just could not click on the Aegis in time.
Yeah, he got stunned up as well. So it was just stun after stun, and it just so happens that RNG managed to eventually pick it up. Unfortunate for IG. That would have been a very big play from JT. Nonetheless, a lot more here on RNG, a lot more leeway for Monet to play forward. He is going for a bit of a right-click build, of course, with the Blade Mail and Desolator, although... Ooh.
Oh, they pick up the Ember. Shallow Grave is going to be there in time, so Monet, he will get away with this Aegis still intact. And IG and RNG both just separate.
Yeah, I think RNG now, with the tools they have, you know, they're not too far behind. It's a 1k advantage, less than 1k advantage for IG. But that's, considering what IG has, really farm-heavy heroes, this is a pretty dire time for RNG. They've got to wait for level 3 on Flywind. I think you need bad Juju level 3, really, to start maximizing this minus armor strat you have with the Desolator on Monet. So you need that spam ability, you need that additional minus armor that you can get with a bad Juju. Which means that I would think that RNG will not try to force big 5v5s until that point is reached with Flywind. You just can't sustain yourself enough. It has been hit and miss, and every single time it misses, IG bounces back so damn hard.
Oh, mid lane. It was on an illusion. Missed opportunity. And RNG, they seem kind of desperate because they have the Aegis. It really looks like they want a team fight, but look at Monet, just getting taken down by the Lycan creeps. Flywind will use the mech and keep him up. Now a boat being thrown out from Kaka, but it won't land on September.
You've got the AC up now in the Kunkka, so there is a little bit more durability flying up here for RNG. That should help them mitigate some of the damage from the Lycan and the Gyrocopter. But, you know, you've already got Fly with his AC as well. So the timings are kind of matched up for the most part, at least with this item reveal, and that should just kind of negate each other overall.
Yeah, Fly setting himself up for his own BKB on the Lycan. Emo getting very fortunate as well with that Paladin Sword on the Gyrocopter, I've got to say.
Constantly seen that in past ones, just finding that one item every single time. One more thing to note is that you are about to hit the level 20 talent for Fly, so potentially a longer shapeshift duration coming out for a Lycan, which means a lot more presence in the fights, as they have been pretty long fights. So you're getting a lot more value from Fly when he pops that ult, if you wanted to. And, you know, it just makes it a bit harder for RNG to get that control when the entire team is there.
Yeah, that 5 seconds can make all the difference. And, oh, Monet. Spider legs on JT, going to allow him to avoid any kind of chains to come out from this Ember. Still Setsu. They have the Aegis. They want to make some sort of play with this. They will go ahead and clear out the tier 2 mid. Setsu gets some nice creeps for himself. Can they force a tier 3 tower? They probably could, right? Like, you've still got the Aegis. At least try to use it up before you do back out. They get a glyph out of it. And they won't play this greedily. They are just going to be very cautious. Back out again. That is going to mean the Aegis will probably expire, however. But I think they're okay with that.
Yeah, I'd say this is the moment where they can kind of fight, though. Like, you have the BKB on Flyman, you've got the level 3 bad Juju up, so you can stack those minus armor still. They have to kind of watch their towers. Top lane was being shoved in. They haven't really found easy targets, although Fly...
It's going to be fine.
Shapeshift.
He does have that extra 5 seconds now, so just a little more frustrating to try and control Fly. He'll have his BKB soon, which will make it even harder.
Yeah. You lose the Aegis now as well, so it does expire now on Monet, which means that probably really won't see RNG force anything out, and while all of that was happening, Emo does manage to finish up his Satanic, so he's got a lot more durability on his side. There's nothing from RNG to mitigate that regen right now, which means that he will just be able to stand and fight. He's got the BKB and Satanic. Nothing to really worry about in Gyrocopter anymore.
The rune of illusion.
Oh, more rotations from RNG back into this mid lane.
Is under attack.
X going to be there on Emo. That's a big target. Mind you, he does have his Satanic up now. So he does have a lot of turn potential on this Gyrocopter, especially with the Paladin Sword to add on. And RNG, I'm kind of shocked they're going for this with no Aegis available. They know there's no glyph, and that seems to be all that's making them go forward for this. Kaka, though, lift is on Monet. Boat to fly in. JT doesn't really get an arena off in time. He's been soul-binded up. Now, you see the Rolling Thunder, but the BKBs are out from Emo, and they've got the Fiend's Grip on the Kunkka, so he's a sitting duck. Monet trying to remnant out by Fly, making the chase. He can't quite reach, but they've left Setsu behind. In fact, a 3-man arena coming out from JT now. They're just locked in for them to clean up on the side of IG. They find all of them. Setsu, he tries to man fight, but what an arena coming out from JT. He was so patient with it.
RNG just forcing these fights when they don't have the Aegis, when they're trying to siege high ground, when IG can really leverage their team fight spells. Just a very, very odd decision coming out from RNG. They are punished quite hard. They don't have buyback on their Kunkka. So if IG does decide to go high ground, they won't have the presence of Setsu for about a minute, and that could cause some issues here, as they can really melt these towers with Fly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The tier 3 tower, the first one that IG have touched, is under siege, and they're going to lose that mid-racks very, very quickly if they can't react. In fact, JT trying to find a cheeky spear. He won't quite get it. IG, though, I don't think they have a need to back off yet. Got all their items up. You've got Arena back up again. Call down in 10 seconds. Still plenty of time to try and go. Now the wolf will be popped again. Another nice arena. They found the Dazzle. That's a huge target on Fly when he is dead. Now September falling low. Fly just chasing him down while he rolls away, and he can't get away. He does die, and now Monet also to fall. No buybacks left on the side of RNG. This game is officially over, and they call the GG on the side of RNG. IG pull it off 2-1.
IG just played around her timings really fantastically here. The lanes did look a bit of a back and forth. RNG looked like they might have been able to get some space there. They don't manage to find Emo. That's the key thing every single time. IG, when Emo gets that space, he just delivers. And RNG just couldn't shut him down. They couldn't hit their timings. And it just really just fell apart for them.
It sure did. John, of course, we do have a second series and a second best of one to get to very, very soon, so we will have to quickly try and head over to the lobby just in case it is already up. It is MLP Dota and johnxfire. Next game, for anyone that isn't aware, is CDEC versus Newbie, and we'll be right back for it. See you soon.